You're tuned in to the Benefit broadcast, the Conceal or Reveal edition. I'm Ryan Lange, cultural producer and man behind Hungama, East London's queer Bollywood hip-hop night. Also, reluctant icon and TV personality. I am joined with the incredible Charlie Craggs.
Hi guys, I'm Charlie and I am a TV presenter, I am an author. I'm probably best known for my campaign Nail Transphobia though, which is, I run a pop-up nail salon where I travel around the country offering the public free manicures for the chance to have a chat with a trans person. But today our episode is a celebration of the LGBTQIA+ community and talking about coming out, Ryan, and coming out in a society that wants to put us into boxes. So let's get into it.
I have something to say.
Oh God, what?
I'm gay.
I can do you one better. I'm trans. What? Tell me though, what was your coming out story, Ryan?
My coming out experience, it was interesting because I feel that when I was younger, I mean, I look really young, but actually I'm from the era of VHS. I found it really difficult to figure out how to understand and wrap my head around the words gay and trans and bisexual. I mean, back in the day, it was just LGB.
It was just gay. It was just gay.
Yeah.
And gay encompassed lesbian, it encompassed drag queens, it encompassed trans people even. There was it was just one word.
Yeah, and I think over time things expand. And I think that we learn, and as we raise visibility, we figure out who we are. But I mean, going back to where I was when I was a kid, I was subscribing to things like playing with a PlayStation and hanging out with all my male presenting cousins. And I just wanted to hang out upstairs and make roti with my aunties. And my mom was like, you have to go downstairs. We don't want everyone to think that you're gay. So I remember being a kid and I went to a library and I crawled so no one could see me to the gay bisexual section and just pulled books down and secretly read them in other books just to figure out what it meant. And then we had dial-up and the internet taught me a lot of things.
Talk about one moment of queer joy that you've had since then, big or small.
I've had a lot of queer joy and I'm so blessed to say that because with the obstacles and the things that I've overcome, I've been able to celebrate and have moments of elation. And I think now, at the tender, youthful age that I am, looking back at some of the people that I've got to work with and the people that I've got to unlock culturally, creatively, have really, really inspired me. And it's made me happy that I can kind of get a sense of knowing what my legacy is going to be. Your legacy as queer people, we don't get to have kids traditionally in ways that we would normally think that most people get to experience it. The opportunity of having a child as a cis male is as a queer person is not a straight path, pun intended. But it's I get to experience that with all the people that come to Hungama and all the people that get to enjoy the music and dip into their gender presentation, dip into their gender orientation, and knowing that it was incepted at my night or incepted through an interaction with me, fills me with complete and utter joy. I'm so glad that a little bit of me can live inside everyone.
My kind of moment of queer joy is a much smaller moment, and it's a moment in the everyday, which I think we need as kind of marginalized people, when life can be hard, to get us through the everyday. And mine is the other day I was on the tube and I was like, oh my God, I am so comfortable. And I remember the first time I ever got on the tube when I had started presenting, when I started living my life authentically as Charlie. And I have never been more terrified than that first day going out, presenting as my authentic self. I just remember leaving my door, and like I said, I lived on a council estate, so there was thousands of windows looking down at my door, and just feeling everyone was at their windows looking at me, everyone was laughing. Early transition is hard, hard, no word for how hard it is. I can't believe the difference in that person getting on the tube that day to the person I am now, sitting on the tube, like I said, no makeup on, I'm at a point in my transition, I don't even have to wear makeup to blend in. That is so powerful. And don't get me wrong, I love makeup. I love makeup. Makeup's one of my favorite things in the world, but it's so nice not to have to wear makeup, to be seen as who you are, you know? It's not a mask anymore. It just it makes me the better version of myself. All right, guys, it's time to check on social media and see what you've been saying. I got a text. Okie dokie. So the first message is, any advice on meeting other queer people?
I genuinely think the best thing you can do if you want to meet more queer people is get involved. The best thing to do is to read about all the queer daytime activities that exist, not just nighttime, because nighttime can be quite dark and you're just like on the perimeter of a dance floor. Explore the city, get lost and get curious. Meet as many people as you can. Start with, hi, my name is, and I'm from, and I'd like to, and just fill in the gaps and just be kind. I think we're changing the world in a nice way. Like people are more kind and welcoming and patient after the pandemic. So I think it's nice to, as queer people, that we all remember, whether you're the one asking the questions and exploring or the ones being asked a question, to give that person space and try to help pull the people up. I have a question for you.
Go on.
This is not me. This is a question from the audience. I feel like I'm straight, but I keep fancying trans people. Can you give me any advice?
Are you sure it's not you, Ryan? Do you fancy me, Ryan?
Okay, I love you, Charlie.
Okay, do you know what? I feel like this gets so over intellectualized and it's like so deep, and it's really not that deep, okay? I am a girl, okay?
Yes.
Liking me doesn't make you anything other than straight. Sadly, it makes me nothing other than straight as well, which I think is proof that if you know, there's this whole like misconception that if being gay is a choice.
Yeah.
Baby, if being gay was a choice, I would choose to be gay. Let me make that crystal clear. I would not choose this prison that is heterosexuality for myself. Trust me. Yeah, I feel like I share a lot of my dating life on Instagram. We've seen the skid mark video, and
What?
yeah, we do. It
Oh
is
my God, yes.
a prison.
Oh my God, yes, I know.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my God,
yes.
stop.
I would not choose that for myself. If I could have, if gay men like trans women, if it made you gay to like trans women, trust me, I would pick a gay guy. You smell nice, you look nice, you know how to dress nice, you're more sensitive generally, not all the time, but you know.
Right.
But do you know what I mean? Like I would choose a gay guy.
Yeah.
Sadly, gay guys don't like me. You know, sadly they don't like my boobs, they don't like my hips, they don't like my long hair, they don't like my beauty. Sadly, yeah. So sadly, it doesn't make you anything other than straight. I'm sorry. Or maybe that's what you wanted to hear. But yeah, liking trans women doesn't make you anything special.
Tell me one thing that, big or small, that you felt like you had to conceal about yourself, and how did it impact you?
One thing, I concealed everything. I kid you not, like it's actually quite sad. I really internalized a lot of, I got bullied. I started getting bullied very young. I was like 7 when I started getting called like homophobic names and girl and stuff. And I started like hating myself, which is kind of natural, I guess, when the whole world, it feels like the whole world hates you, everyone around you hates you. I started hating all the things about me that made me feminine, which were the reason I was getting bullied. Like I looked at my brothers who had such an easy life compared to me, who were like just like super like masculine boys, and then I was me, and I was just like, my life was so hard compared to them, and I like really resented that, and I really hated myself, and I started like stripping away all the parts of me that made me feminine. So I stopped listening to music I liked, I stopped dressing the way I liked, I stopped hanging around with people I liked, and I got to a point where I was just miserable because I'd stripped away all the parts that were feminine, but in turn I stripped away all the parts that made me me and made me who I am. So like I was nothing. I was living a life for the people that hated me. Like, make it make sense. Like, why am I living my life to make people who hate me happy? And I hope anyone listening who's like kind of in that space now where they're minimizing and concealing themselves to make someone else happy who doesn't even like them. Like those people are trying to hurt you, and you're like letting them steal your joy. So like, like now I'm like, I live my fullest, most authentic self.
I remember when I was in university, I found out that my parents found out that I was gay, and my sister called me and she's like, mom knows that you're gay, mom knows that you're gay. And I had to go to school that day and like finish an exam, and I couldn't do it. I like bombed it. And I was just sitting there just like tapping my fingers, being like, how am I going to exist in the rest of this life, let alone this exam? When the exam finished, I went straight to my professor and I said, Professor, like, I'm so sorry. I bombed my test because my parents found out I'm gay. And he just said, don't worry, I'll make sure you pass. And I just looked at him like aghast, being like, why? Why would you do that to me? Why would you give me that grace? And he said, it's because I have a daughter who used to be my son. Oh. And I just stood there, didn't know what to say. And he's like, being gay is going to be the reason why you're great. So just get back to it.
Oh my God, that is so beautiful.
It was so beautiful,
oh
but
my
like
God.
that ability to have someone see that you're concealing yourself and see the pain that you go through when you go through it, the exhaustion, and like someone who can notice the rock bottom that you've hit, because it's so dark down there. When someone throws a rope down there and pulls you out, it's incredibly powerful. I think it's really important that as like two people who are transitioning two generations, like the generation that like were struggling and had so much internalized homophobia, and we're trying to survive the AIDS epidemic, to the generation now who are like completely aware of everything, and as soon as you meet someone, they're telling you what their pronouns are. It's like in order to talk about the journey that we had to go through, the lack of resources, the lack of support, and the moments, these shining moments of support from people we never thought that helped us get a lifeline to see another day. How has the response been from nail transphobia?
Do you know what? I've been thinking this recently because I had the 8th birthday since I set the campaign up, and I got a bit disheartened because we've been seeing in recent years, especially like the pushback against trans rights, especially in the media, and like conversations that we're having now that I'm just like, how are we having this? Like now in 2022, it's like the stuff yesterday about the EHRC where they're talking about putting trans women who haven't got gender recognition certificates into men's bathroom. You can't come into a women's bathroom unless you have a certificate. I've been doing this for 8 years. There's been people who have been doing it for 8 decades, you know what I mean? But it's like, are we still at the point where we're conflating trans women with rapists, you know?
Well, that really resonates with me. It really resonates with me because only recently did India decriminalize homosexuality.
I saw that, yeah.
And so like, it is shocking to think that only 3 years ago that being queer was the equivalent of bestiality.
Yeah,
and
or
like
pedophilia.
and we as South Asian humans are like the most sexually fluid people in the world. Like we weren't straight, we weren't heteronormative, we were gay AF until we were colonized.
Yeah.
All right, so we need to wrap things up.
Yeah.
I just want everyone out there to know that if you feel like the whole world is against you and there are a lot of things that you hate about yourself, I want you to write all those things down. I want you to wear those with a badge of pride, because it's those things that are going to make you unstoppable. And so if you ever think that this is impossible, just think, I am possible.
I think my takeaway would be for the allies watching, or people who want to be an ally, or just people who maybe who don't even want to be an ally, is to say something if you see something. We all need to be better allies to everyone. We need to be there for each other. And I just would really urge you to say something if you see something. I think we've covered quite a lot today, haven't we, Ryan?
Yeah, we've concealed, revealed, revelations, no hesitations.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Benefit Broadcast, the Conceal or Reveal edition. Be sure to like and subscribe and tell your friends. Bye.
Bye-bye.